fleetest gymnast that we've ever seen.
Extraordinary moments. Beautiful night for some football.
NASCAR Cup Series champion Scotty Scheffler takes it all.
A lot of stars for you on Sunday Night Football.
Sunday Night Football's just outside the Big Apple. The latest stop in what's been a wild week for New York City sports.
Giants in for the score. And the Giants seal the deal.
New York path to the WNBA Finals.
You got a Jets news. What? Robert Saleh has been fired. Are you serious? Wow.
Yankees win. The Yankees win.
Gone! It's gone! Francisco Lindor! Put it in the books! California, here we come!
I loved how they fought. They kicked their ass. They thoroughly outplayed Seattle.
There's other people involved. It's interesting the amount of power that people think that I have.
Back-to-back parties! A miracle Game 1 win!
I'm kind of just jazzed up about the Giants.
Next up, the Giants Sunday night showdown with Cincinnati.
All these Giants fans are jazzed up. They're hoping that the train doesn't slow down tonight, but in order to get a win, they're going to have to slow down Joey B, Joe Cool, who was hot against the Ravens, but the Bengals are off to just a 1-4 start. Time for some football night alerts. We start with the Steelers traveling to Vegas, and defense does travel, Chris.
You're right about that, Maria. Defense travels, and I'll tell you who else travels. TJ Watt, he travels really well. Second forced fumble of the game. They got a block punt. They got this one in hand. They're rolling.
And right now we've got the Falcons and the Panthers locked into an NFC matchup.
Kirk Cousins still swag surfing. Got Atlanta rolling. Tyler Algier in for a touchdown. Scary at times, but Atlanta is pulling away.
Yes, finally pulling away. Meanwhile, the Lions, that's all they've done since they've entered Cowboy Stadium.
Yeah, an absolute bludgeoning in Arlington, Texas. Jared Goff has been on fire, finding Jamison Williams down the field. They're beating him every different way. It's 40-9. Wow.
Welcome into Studio 3, Maria Taylor alongside Devin McCourty and Jason Garrett. And you can see that the Lions are rolling, but maybe the bigger story in that game, the Lions superstar pass rusher, Aiden Hutchinson. We saw him suffer what looked to be a serious leg injury in the third quarter. His left leg was ultimately put in an air cast before he left on a cart. No official word yet on the severity. We'll keep you updated, of course, but what could this mean for this Detroit Lions team?
It means a lot. He leads the National Football League in sack, been an incredibly productive player. But more than that, he's the heart and soul of this football team. And if you ask me who's the one player who represents everything that Dan Campbell's trying to build in Detroit, it's Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah, and, you know, when you talk about being a leader, that means everybody else has to step up. And you see a guy go down like that, it usually fuels the players, and so they'll have to continue to build and hope he's all right.
Yeah, a guy who's a hometown superstar, grew up in Plymouth, Michigan, just around the way from Detroit. So we'll give you updates on his injury later as the show goes on. Elsewhere, in the earlier games that we watched, the Ravens, they absolutely rolled against Washington in the Battle of the Beltway.
Yeah, since the beginning of the time, the Ravens have been all about defense, but not anymore. They have the best offense in the National Football League. It's a three-headed monster. The quarterback, Lamar Jackson, ridiculous. King Henry behind him. Zay Flowers, they are hard to stop. They won the Battle of the Beltway. Washington's an upstart team. Baltimore showed who was boss.
Yeah, as a defense, you pick your poison, and that's scary. I would not want to play against that Baltimore offense. But across the pond, Caleb Williams, 4 touchdowns. And the cool thing about Caleb Williams in the Chicago offense, it gets better every single week. Caleb Williams is on fire. 6 incompletions.
Are we literally not just going to talk about, he said it's the best offense in the NFL? Do we agree with that?
I'll take that, yeah. I mean,
Absolutely.
Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Try to defend.
That's the problem right there.
We're safe over here. Chris, let's get to your headliners for Week 6. And do you agree? Best offense?
Well, it's a really good offense for sure. I think it's up there. I'm not sure if I'm ready to say the best, but this guy's got something to say about it too. Another awesome NFC North quarterback. Jordan Love was on fire today. 4 touchdown passes. Green Bay is tough to defend. They're one of the best running teams in football. He throws the ball down the field great. Touchdown here on the one-on-one blitz to Doubs. They were great today. Green Bay blows out the Arizona Cardinals. How about Chris Godwin down in Tampa Bay? 11 catches, 125 yards. They also ran all over New Orleans, but they had no answer for this guy. Catching the ball in the flat, bouncing off tacklers, long touchdown run. Baker Mayfield balled out today as well, over 300 yards passing. Blowout win for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Then, last year's Rookie Defensive Player of the Year. There he is, Will Anderson, Drake Maye. Yeah, he got to meet him a few too many times today. 3 sacks, had a tip pass in the air that caused an interception. Houston Texans defense all over Drake Maye and that Patriots offense, looking good. I got a question for these two, Maria.
Okay.
All right. AFC. All right. You're going to take the banged up Chiefs, the Ravens, or the Texans right now. Who you rolling with?
I said in the beginning of the year, I'm taking the Baltimore Ravens.
Right now, you're still going.
That has not changed.
Okay. Jason?
The Kansas City Chiefs have won the Super Bowl the last 2 years. Until you knock them off, I'm going with Andy and Patrick.
Set them straight. That's right.
That's what we love. A differing of opinion. One game that we haven't mentioned yet. You can see that the Chargers right now taking on the Broncos. It's a 1-score game, less than a minute to play. We'll keep you up to date on that. But let's get it to our guys who are hanging out with all of those Giants fans. Jack, Tony, Rodney, how you feeling right now at MetLife?
What is going on, Maria? Couple of teams, slow starts for both of them. For Cincinnati, they had the hype. Now it's desperation for the Giants. They gave themselves new life out there in Seattle. Daboll won a couple of Super Bowls with him there in New England. He was an assistant coach. How is he quieted the noise?
He's a real dude, man. He doesn't do any. He doesn't say anything that he doesn't mean.
Yeah.
The players love him, and he's just been great for them.
Well, I'll tell you what, he better have his offense rolling tonight because Cincinnati, as you mentioned, got off to a slow start. But Joe Burrow has his receivers, T. Higgins and Jamar Chase back. They are hot, and the Giants are going to have to score points to win tonight.
Speaking of Daboll, I think he's done a great job keeping this team together throughout all the adversity that they face. But also with Daniel Jones, he's playing a lot more consistent. So Daboll's done a great job.
We talked to those Bengals. They expect to win this game tonight. It has not shot their confidence at all. And fellas, I know you guys know. We've seen the NFL's crucial catch initiative around the league. These last few weeks, they're promoting prevention, early detection of cancer, which can impact anyone at any age. And last week, the Bengals, they honored cancer survivors at halftime with a bell-ringing ceremony to celebrate those who beat cancer. And joining us right now is a Today Show contributor and Jill Martin. I know that you just went through this with breast cancer. You're a breast cancer survivor yourself. Thank you for being with us. So how valuable is sharing this message of early detection?
Thank you so much for having me. I mean, I can't believe a year ago I was sitting in chemotherapy and going through operations, and this could have been avoided with genetic testing. So I'm here to say on the biggest stage we have, 25 million people are walking around with this BRCA mutation, which gives women and men, for women, a 60 to 90% chance, 60 to 90% of getting breast cancer. Had I known I had this gene, I went in to get the preventive surgery. They found the cancer. So I'm just saying to everybody, we have 5 bullets up right now on today.com. And if you fit into the high risk category, please call your doctor, get ahead of it. Trust me, you don't want to go through cancer if it's avoidable in this case. And so I'm just here to yell it from the rooftops.
Wow. Amen. Thank you for sharing that. And also, you've got some news too. Your fashion brand is teaming up with the New York Giants. Tell us about that.
Well, I'm so excited because Giants fans are the best. And I was laying in bed for most of my treatment, and I started JillMartin.com, which is this jacket and a hoodie that some of the people are wearing. And it's 2 blanket fabrications. So football is about to get a whole lot cozier, and we just started selling them. We're kicking them off tonight. And actually, Rodney, because
we gotta get some of these now.
Yeah, so we got you all. I actually have your colleagues,
let's go. We got a Snuggie for Rod, too.
Gave me a special edition one.
Yeah, put that
it's
thing
one
on.
of 2. And if you could just show a close-up of the cuff, your colleagues asked me to embroider this for you.
We got to see the cuff now.
They got him with the helmet catch.
Special edition. It's a special edition.
There's only one other one made, and David Tyree's hosting the DJ Disco party I have in the Corona Suite. So thank you for playing along, and thank you so much for having me and raising awareness.
Absolutely. Anybody that wants wants to make fun of Rodney is welcome anytime they want. We really appreciate you coming on.
Good calls,
and what an incredible message you have. We are getting set for Sunday Night Football, and it is two teams that need this game tonight. The Bengals and the Giants. We're counting you down.
Within the last year, I brought girls flag football to the first Catholic school in Brooklyn, New York. I just continue to see it pop up everywhere. You know, lately we've been seeing now many colleges offering it as a club team. It's going to the NCAA. Finally, our sport that we love is being recognized. I feel empowered coaching all these female athletes. I could be that role model for them. I hope that these girls get the opportunities that I didn't have, you know, to play in college and to continue playing at that next level. It's really exciting to see.
What an inspiration. Coach Vic providing a pathway in flag football for young women and girls, and maybe we'll see some of them in the LA Olympics in about 4 years. For more stories like that, check it out on Football for All series on NBCSports.com/HerTurf. All right, let's get back to our Sunday Night Football game in Week 6. The Giants and Danny Dimes, Daniel Jones. Now, normally when you're a quarterback, you're probably like, hey, I get to play at home. That's a great thing. But Jason, I want you to take a look at these home versus away stats and how much better he is playing ball on the road. Even the passing touchdowns. 27 at home, 41 away, and he turns the ball over almost 2 times as much when he's on the road. What's happening here? Can you explain this to me? Make it make sense.
It's pretty amazing. When you're an athlete in New York, when things are going well, there's no better place than the planet. But when things aren't going well, you're going to hear about it. Okay. And you better play well early in the game or the crowd's going to turn on you. Sometimes you can go on the road as an us against the world mentality, and it's a good environment to play. Many times as a player and a coach coming from Dallas, going up to New York, we always said, hey, let's play well early. Yeah. If we do, they're going to turn on that team. And I think sometimes that's what these players feel.
It's like a bunker mentality, right?
Absolutely.
When you go on the road. But you know this guy, Daniel Jones. What is he made of? What do you know?
Oh, he's as tough as they come. And they've created a much better environment for him. The line's playing better. They got some big-time players outside. It's a good environment.
All right, we'll see how he does against the Cowboys here tonight, guys. Time for a football night alert. What is the latest with the Lions and the Cowboys, Chris?
Oh, it's bad in Big Dallas, Maria, for sure. The Lions dominating the game. Brian Branch, second interception of the day. He's got a forced fumble, too. They have scored. It's 47-9 late. This one is over.
Yeah, done. We will see the highlights of that game a little bit later. Lowlights if you are a Dallas fan. To the highlights we go. The Colts taking on the Titans. Joe Flacco making his second straight start. Anthony Richardson still out with that oblique injury right now, but he finds Michael Pittman Jr., who is back.
Yeah, Joe Flacco continues to be on fire, just making plays, particularly down in the red zone, giving Pittman a chance. What a catch.
Yeah, being nice and physical and battling back from a back injury, but looks great. Less than 5 minutes to go. Will Levis, he looked for Calvin Ridley a lot, but couldn't connect.
He sure did, and Will Levis continues his track of turning the ball over way too much. Just flop the ball up there. Tennessee makes them pay.
Yeah, an NFL high 10 turnovers for Levis. Colts get the win. And otherwise, I think you had breakfast with the Bears and the Jags. The London games continued. Take a listen to how it went in Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
So we are good to go, Craig, here. And there's going to be quite a welcome, I'm sure.
Down the middle of the field, Komet's got it at the 10. Touchdown! Touchdown Bears! Caleb looks, throwing in the back of the near side end zone corner. Cole Kmet, touchdown Bears!
And they love it in here.
Gets up the ball as he goes down, scooped up by the Bears.
A cacophony of noise at Tottenham.
3 steps, throwing loud, touchdown! Touchdown Bears!
Caleb Williams, have a day, sir.
The London hero. I've laid an egg.
Okay, but you know who didn't lay an egg? That would be the Bears. They get the victory 35-16. And check this out. Their 4-2 start, best start since 2020. Caleb Williams had 4 passing touchdowns today, 5 total touchdowns in the first 5 games. So the Bears are most certainly rolling. Chris Sims, Devin McCourty, how are they making it happen on offense?
Well, the quarterback's getting more comfortable. He's really talented. They found out a proper formula on the offensive side of the ball. It's about 3 weeks in a row. Tying plays together, right, Devin? Yep. A lot of plays that start off looking the same that are different. Look at this little sequence here in the first half of the game. Little fake swing to the right, throws the screen to the left. This is going to be the very next play. They do it, switch the formations an opposite way. Now they're going to fake the swing here, fake the run there, okay? And boom, there's going to be Cole Kmet right up the middle. Very tough to defend.
And what I love about these plays, it doesn't matter if the defense is in man or zone. The first time, Jacksonville's kind of confused. They think they know it the second time, so they're flying. Finds Kmet right in the middle. And then right here, when you can draw up some good plays, you allow him to do this a few times a game. Just make a smart play. Yeah, I could throw it here, but he's going to tackle him. They don't see me. Runs, get some extra yards. You can see the comfort level. And now he's using everything God blessed him with.
He's got big-time talent. Their offensive coordinator, Shane Waldron's done a great job getting the Bears in a groove here, Maria. It's been impressive.
Yep, they were sipping tea in London and making it look easy. How about the Giants celebrating some of their Super Bowl
Eli
winners?
looking good.
Yeah, the hair slicked back.
Hair slicked back like a young Pat Riley, huh?
Bringing some winning ways into Week 6 Sunday Night Football. Oh, Justin Tuck is in the building.
Still hard to block.
Got that deep ball calibrated.
This is Football Night in America, served by Applebee's.
Okay, we need something juicy for mid-season. Anyone?
What if we replace the gritty with the sexy? Sexy.
Let's get filthy.
That's Dexter Lawrence and the first Dexy of the year. Jamar Chase doing the gritty.
It's getting crazy now.
Zip under pressure, gets sacked. Dexy Lawrence. Touchdown! His second gritty in the end zone. Big sexy Dexy.
We're gritty, man. We're gritty. Let's go.
I mean, they might be in different weight classes, but those are two of the smoothest dudes wearing shoulder pads right there.
Which one you like better?
I mean, I got to go with the gritty, I think, but I don't know.
I like the gritty.
I like defense.
Hey, I thought we learned a lot about Joe Burrow's perspective a week ago when he said he had to be perfect, play perfect himself to go win that game. Defense is getting lit up for Cincinnati. That might be the formula the rest of the way for Cincinnati. He's got to play good.
Well, he does. Their defense is struggling, but they feel good. They're getting some of their pass rushers back in their defensive line. But Cincinnati's offense started out slowly. He didn't have all his weaponry. Chase was holding out. T. Higgins got hurt. But these last 3 games, they've been lighting it up, Rod, and the Giants are going to have their hands full on defense.
And talking to some of those Cincinnati Bengals offensive players, they mentioned 2 names. They mentioned number 97, Dexter Lawrence. They said they have to keep 2 guys on him. And they also mentioned Brian Burns, the defensive end. They said he brings a lot of speed and athleticism. They're going to have to block them both.
All right, let's check in on both these divisions. What do you think? We were watching the Cleveland Browns earlier today. Cleveland and Philly, and speaking of desperation, Cleveland, they are just that. Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, they're coming off their bye week, second quarter. Hurts to A.J. Brown. It's nice to have him back.
Yeah, we know when you play the Browns, it's man-to-man coverage, and A.J. Brown beats him off the line of scrimmage, Martin Emerson.
So it's the end of the first half. Eagles up 7. Jake Elliott, 57-yard attempt, and it's blocked.
Yes, this was Myles Garrett. A big play actually got Cleveland back in the game. 2-score lead would have been tough for Cleveland to overcome, but they tie it up. Big play by Myles. Jumped over
just a tremendous effort right there. You can't tell me that he's not trying to win.
You can't touch that snapper as well, Coach.
No,
we were talking about
got
that.
all the way over.
You got to get through cleanly. So the game tied, 13 apiece. We move you ahead to the fourth quarter. It's great to have both these guys back. Devontae Smith as well.
Yeah, he had been out, and here he comes back with a big play. That's what was missing from this attack.
Yeah, man-to-man coverage, a blown coverage. He walks in the end zone free.
Cleveland trying to battle their way back into this game, but it was the mistakes down the stretch. Zach Center called for the false start. It's going to happen again on fourth.
Yeah, and this has been the story for Cleveland all year. You have a chance to tie the game up, 2 penalties, don't score, have to kick a field goal.
All-pro left tackle, false start.
And we saw Nick Sirianni after the game. He was fired up. He's mixing it up with the fans a little bit.
Let me hear you, fans.
He said he's excited just to get the win. That is what Coach said after that one. So is this Jameis Winston time now, do we believe, in Cleveland? How do you see it with their quarterback?
They can put Jameis Winston in now if they want to. It still doesn't make up when you have penalties, when you have turnovers, when you have mistakes, and your defense isn't playing great. Doesn't matter who the quarterback is.
Coach, they're 1-5, and this team is in desperate need of a spark. They need a spark. spark, and I think they should give Jameis Winston an opportunity. And you can't tell me that he has the belief of all those guys in that locker room. He doesn't, because every week they have to answer questions about Deshaun Watson and what he has going on. It's been a distraction. It continues to be a distraction, and they need to move on. They need to give Jameis Winston an opportunity. If I was on that team, I wouldn't want to go out and play on a 1-5 team, and you got this guy running around. He needs to go home and take care of his business at home so we don't have to deal with that stuff in the locker room.
Yeah. Part of the reason they're 1-5 is, though, yeah, we're not getting great quarterback play, but they are not doing the job. That's what they've got to step up to me, the rest of the Cleveland Browns.
And you got to look at the head coach. It starts with him.
Yeah, and Stefanski did mention that he is sticking with Watson for now, so that is where things sit. There's a whole lot more to come from here and a whole lot more happening around the league, including in Green Bay, where the Packers got a big win.
Bring the energy, powered by the all-electric Acura ZDX.
Desperation throw, tiptoes into the end zone. A sensational touchdown. Rock and roll, touchdown.
Everybody get a game ball.
He breaks another tackle, touchdown Tampa Bay.
Tampa strong on 3. 1, 2, 3. Tampa.
Football Night in America is brought to you by Applebee's, the official grill and bar sponsor of the NFL.
Okay, this was exactly 39 years ago. Chris Collinsworth, okay, 4 catches for 51 yards. That touchdown right there. Phil Simms, a Giants record 513 passing.
Big day right there. In a losing effort, though, but a big day. Big day.
Your boy, he threw the ball 62 times.
62 times. No run game that week. And I believe the next week he threw for like 430 yards against the Cowboys, and they lost that game too.
There you go.
Yeah, don't lose sight of Cadillac there, though. Collinsworth made a nice play, didn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, and then 10 years later, September 95, Phil Simms getting that jersey retired.
That jersey retired? Oh, man, look at that.
Look at him.
That hair.
Wow,
Love that haircut.
How old were you?
I was there. I was a freshman in high school.
That's my old man right there.
Look at that.
Him.
Look at him.
Y'all both have
Giants history going on right now.
I love that.
JG was on the Cowboys when the dad was getting the jersey retired that day.
So that means that we have a couple of little Giants here. Look at them. Wait, Devin.
Simms, you had a rough start as a kid, buddy.
What do you mean?
Hey, I'm the guy on the right. Right?
You don't think?
Simms looks good.
You don't like what I look like there? What's wrong with like a cute kid that holds a football?
It looks like you got struck by lightning a little bit.
Really?
Like, why is your
It's
hair
why that white? I don't know. My dad's nickname growing up was Whitey, and I guess I got that gene. Okay?
Yeah, clearly, Jason, you look good.
Thanks.
Yeah, you look cute.
Good looking out.
Struck by lightning.
Yeah, our little Giants.
Thank
Make sure
you.
that you guys cut that, paste that, and hop it on Twitter. Back to the highlights. Let's go to the NFC South. We've got the Falcons and the Panthers. Andy Dalton, Panthers, they're just trying to get a victory here. Kirk Cousins, though, finding Drake London in the second quarter.
Don't look now. Kirk Cousins, Falcons, they're 4-2. They've won 3 in a row against the NFC South.
Yeah, and you got to like your defense stepping up, too. A.J. Terrell Jr. looking for his first interception since 2021.
Yeah, Dalton and Carolina, they were game, but Terrell snuffs it out.
Yeah, best start since 2016 for the Falcons. That's when they lost in the Super Bowl to Devin Patriots. I don't want to talk about it. The Buccaneers taking on the Saints. Spencer Rattler getting his first start. And let's start there as he finds Bub Means, another rookie.
Bub Means from Pittsburgh, and this didn't look well early for Rattler, but the Saints got going and we had a good game.
Yeah, they had to score 20 unanswered points to get back into it. It was really a crazy game. And then here we have a huge play for Chris Godwin.
The simplest form of football. It comes down to catching, running, and tackling. Godwin catching, running at a high level. Saints defense tackling at a very low level right there.
125 yards for Godwin. Rattler, he's going to step back in and try to look and go deep. A great start, but not the play you want to see.
McCollum comes down with a big interception to slow down the Saints. He's a twin also. Twins do great things.
That's what it is? Okay, well, this is the very next play. Bucky Irving. Huge run. How many tackles does he evade here?
I would not want to be in that defensive meeting right there where a guy starts on the left side, stiffs arm, cuts all the way back, and as Bill Belichick would say, we still didn't tackle him. He went out of bounds.
Tampa Bay had 277 rushing yards in this game, and then Mayfield making it stick to Cade Otton.
51 points in the NFL game. You're usually going to win that.
Okay, we talked about a great game for Chris Godwin. Mike Florio, you spoke with him afterwards.
Yeah, and I talked to him about that 55-yard catch and run. He said it started as a simple check down, but because of where Baker Mayfield put the ball, he was able to cut inside. He ran into two Saints, busted through the tackle, and he said at that point, I just have to get to the end zone. Now, it's been a strange week for the Buccaneers. They relocated to New Orleans on Tuesday because of Hurricane Milton. 350 people and 30-plus pets made the trip out of Tampa Bay. And Godwin said that with all the uncertainties and all the unknowns, the practices, the meetings, and the game became the escape for them from all the uncertainty they were dealing with, Maria.
No, thanks, Mike. You know, the Saints also helped with hurricane relief efforts today. They held a game day drive to collect supplies for all of those who are affected. Our thoughts remain with all those impacted by Hurricanes Milton and Helene. And after the game, Todd Bowles was asked what the win meant for this team.
I mean, it makes it extra special for these guys. You know, the biggest thing, a lot of them were playing with heavy hearts, just seeing what was happening in Tampa Bay, and you know, hearts pour out to the city. It's a tough city. It's a strong city. We don't know what we're going back to, but in our small part, and this time we wanted to win one for the city, and we're going to try and help any way we can when we get back.
And you've helped certainly have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's go on with our highlights. The Cardinals taking on the Packers. Jordan Love trying to make it 2 in a row, and Romeo Doubs is back after that one-game suspension.
Yes, they looked really good on offense today. They're one of the best running teams in football, and they make you defend the whole field. So you creep up, you try to stop the run, you don't want to be overpowered, and then this guy at quarterback, he throws the ball down the field. He's patient in the pocket, and Christian Watson deep post touchdown, 24-0 out the gate.
Yeah, and they dominated nearly every facet of the game. Just take a look at those numbers as they were rolling on the Cardinals early. And Jordan Love looking as healthy as he has so far this season.
Definitely. And I think after that injury, he was a little rusty at first, but that all ended. Look at this, off the back foot against the blitz. Great touchdown throw there. Way to go, Green Bay.
Yeah, and I had a chance to catch up with Jordan Love after the game. Congratulations on the win, bud. We glad you did the FaceTime because we want to get an instant reaction.
Yes.
So your favorite of the 4 touchdowns that you threw today?
Favorite? Oh, that's tough. I think the coolest one was probably the last one to Romeo. The double move, had pressure, kind of just threw it up, and he made a big-time play right there. But that one to finish off was probably my favorite.
How are we celebrating afterwards? What are you and Ronica doing? What's happening?
I don't know what we're doing. We might just hang out, watch some ball, and maybe get together with some of the guys later, see if anybody's doing anything later. But I don't have any plans yet, so we'll try and figure that out after. But we're going to celebrate and have fun and enjoy this one.
Jordan, you know the only right answer is I'm going to watch Sunday Night Football and Football Night in America and the Bengals and the Giants.
That's exactly what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be watching Sunday Night Football.
Right answer, Jordan. And he did get a couple of receivers back, but elsewhere in the Saints game, we saw Chris Olave going out with a concussion. Also, the rookie Marvin Harrison Jr. left the game against the Packers in the second quarter with a concussion. We'll keep an eye on that with Pro Football Talk for the latest. Back to the Bengals Giants, though. It's time for tonight's DraftKings Sportsbook 3-play. Matthew Berry, who do you have?
Yeah, you know what? The Bengals offense, it hasn't been reflected in their record, but their passing offense has really taken off over the last couple of games here. Joe Burrow, very quietly, is currently top 5 in the NFL in terms of touchdown rate. He's now thrown multiple touchdowns in 4 straight games. I say he makes it 5 straight against a, well, let's call it inconsistent Giants secondary. And if Burrow's going to have a big game, obviously his buddy Jamar Chase going to be a significant part of it as well. I'm taking the over on Chase's receiving yards. Chase averaging nearly 100 yards per game this year. He's gone over this number in all 3 games since T. Higgins returned to the lineup. And hey, if both Burrow and Chase are going to go off, it stands to reason I like the Bengals to win tonight. Yes, their defense is a problem. Yes, I expect the Giants to play tough at home in prime time. But the Bengals are the more desperate team here, right? If they fall to 1-5, their season is all but over. So who day? Bengals get in the win column tonight. So, guys, I got to ask, are you with me that Joe Burrow has a big game tonight?
I'm with you all the way. If they can block Sexy Dexy up front and Brian Burns, he is going to tear up this Giants secondary.
And never forget, Sims picked the Bengals to win the Super Bowl.
Thank you. That's 5 weeks in a row. Thank you very much for bringing that up.
Joe Burrow is playing great. They're going to double Chase now. Look for Yoshivach to come up and make some plays for the Bengals. What about Princeton guy? Go ahead.
We'll be right back.
All right, here we go, boys. Here we go.
They invited the wrong man. That's the way to start.
Let's go, East.
Hey, guys, what's going on?
It is time for Pick 6 and Win.
Sunday night showdown at MetLife Stadium.
Unbelievable.
Oh, tipped and picked off.
Burns is there. Welcome to the sack party, my friend.
This is Football Night in America, served by Applebee's.
So after the Giants' 0-2 start, Daniel Jones, he has brought back hope the last few weeks. He led New York to a couple of wins. Both those wins were on the road, Cleveland and at Seattle last week. And for the second straight week, he's going to have to do it without his best receiver in Malik Neighbors, who is out tonight with a concussion, Coach.
Yes, and the guy who has picked up the slack for him has been Wan'Dale Robinson. 17 catches in the last 2 weeks since Neighbors has been out. This guy is quick rod. He can move around, he can get open, and he can run after the catch.
He's been very productive, Coach. A guy that I'm looking at is Cam Taylor-Britt, cornerback. He's highly a competitive kid. He plays with a lot of motion. But talking to Lou Anarumo, defensive coordinator, he told me that he has to play with more discipline, and specifically with his eyes. He peeks in the backfield when it's man-to-man coverage. And, Coach, you know, like me, you have to stick with your guy. When you
Fundamentals.
So the Bengals defense, they're at the bottom of the league, as you guys know. They're coming off their worst game of the year against Baltimore, where they were just lit up for all kinds of yards and points by Lamar Jackson. What's the biggest problem with that group right now?
Well, Rodney mentioned Lou Anarumo. He is a great coach. I talked to him before the game, and he said he's never seen the amount of injuries in one position that they've had in the defensive line. He's confident that those guys are going to be back, but he also told me with their offense scoring the way they're scoring, third downs are the key. They just need third down stops.
Having those guys back healthy is huge. And also Mike Hilton. Mike Hilton is a nickel back, and he's an excellent tackler. He's a great blitzer, and I believe that they're going to bring a lot of perimeter pressure to try to keep Daniel Jones within the pocket.
They have to keep him in the pocket tonight.
And gentlemen, it might help as well. Daniel Jones, his primetime record is 1-13. So I guess Kirk Cousins is officially off the hook. I guess Kirk Cousins has played himself off the hook, so we sent it back in to Maria Taylor.
All right, let's put Devin McCourty on the hook. Houston Texans taking on the Patriots. The third overall pick, the rookie Drake Maye, making his start. No more Jacoby Brissett.
That's not right there. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Ready. Time for the welcome to the league moment.
Yeah, the new number 3 pick meets the old number 3 pick from last year. Will Anderson was all over in this game. We highlighted him earlier. Big game for Will Anderson Jr.
Poor Drake Maye finds himself in a 14-zip hole, but he's battling back.
Patriots fans was jumping off their seats right here. They couldn't get much going. He finds Kayshon Boutte for a touchdown, and the Drake Maye era has begun.
Stay calm. Jacoby Brissett had 2 touchdown passes in the first 5 games, and you know Maye did have 3 touchdowns in this one. But here you go, Daniil Hunter, he's coming for you.
This was a story of the offense for New England. Just not able to keep Drake Maye clean. He got hit a lot. Daniil Hunter with a big play right there turns the ball over.
And don't forget, C.J. Stroud is in the building. No Nico Collins, but he does still have Stephon Diggs.
This Houston offense was able to run the ball with Mixon. C.J. Stroud found a lot of open guys, and that leads to a 41-point outing for an offense.
Texans' first win in Foxborough, including the playoffs. They were 0-7. All right, it's time now for the Lowe's home team pick. Chris Sims, help us. A little bit of an encouraging day, right, for Drake Maye?
Definitely encouraging. There was a lot of good things to see from Drake Maye in his performance. I mean, physically, we know he can run, he can make plays that way, and he's got a big arm and made up a lot of explosive plays with that big right arm today. Here he is in the pocket, right? Moves the little defender, out route, nice throw on the out of bounds there, then down the middle, right here, Boutte, touchdown, on the run, great accuracy, and this is what I really like. Extending plays, running, or just buying time and keeping the eyes down the field to throw the ball, and then, of course, the deep pass down the field. There is reason to be very, very excited in New England. Drake Maye, a tough team to start against, the Houston Texans, but there's a lot of positives from today.
First quarterback since 1950 to start a game, first career start.
Yeah.
3 touchdown passes and leading the team in rushing.
Hey, you're just banging the drum, baby. Banging the drum.
You're going to be first in line to induct him into the Hall of Fame.
Hey, patience, but I'm just saying there were a lot of people. I got some text messages. They were a little happy in a loss in New England.
Yeah, the 21 points, the most the Patriots have scored all season. I mean, it's not
got
much,
a quarterback,
but it's something.
Got a quarterback and the number 1 pick in the draft coming up, possibly.
Okay, well, that was the Lowe's home team help. Devin needs a lot of help, and we're here to support him, okay, all day long. The Pittsburgh Steelers Steelers on the road, taking on the Raiders. Justin Fields, he still got the start, and it was tough to start. Fields was intercepted.
Yeah, it sure was. They had a rough one against the Cowboys Sunday night. It didn't look good early in this game, but they get a big break right here. The roughing the passer gives them new life.
Pitiful call.
And the Steelers, though, Mike Tomlin, his squad, you know what they're going to do. They're going to capitalize on the penalty.
And just let this guy run the ball. He's just faster than everybody. Captures the edge and runs it in, and this changed the complexion of the entire game.
Yeah, Fields had 59 rushing yards, a couple of rushing TDs. To the third quarter we go. Raiders punting, but it's blocked.
Yeah, team effort out there. Steelers Nation traveled to Vegas, and so did their entire team. Special teams showing up. Danny Smith, one of the best in the league, coaching that unit.
Yeah, that led to a field goal. Terrible towels are out. Steelers next drive. Najee Harris, making it look easy.
And this is how they want to play. They want to run the football, play great defense. Najee showing up. Big win for the Steelers out there in Vegas.
Yeah, that's got the 2-game losing streak. The Chargers taking on the Broncos. The day started off a little tough. Their head coach Jim Harbaugh going into the medical tent, then to the locker room. Harbaugh would return later in the first quarter. It was revealed he was dealing with an arrhythmia. To the first quarter we go. Justin Herbert finding his rookie.
Yeah, Vidal on the little wheel route up the sideline. Herbert, the Chargers, they had a good offensive game plan against this really good Broncos defense. They ran the ball. They got the ball out of the hand of Herbert quickly, so the pass rush and the blitz couldn't get there, and really controlled time of possession and dominated for the first 3 quarters of this game.
Yeah, the Chargers rushed for 128 yards, and we were talking about the Broncos defense and how well they were doing over the last 3 games, helping them get some of those victories, but it looked like a different story here today.
Yeah, and it started with the run game. Now, quiets everything down. You said that earlier. And I think for them, having the time to prepare for this Broncos defense, when you play a certain way and then Surtain goes out, I think it changed a little bit how Denver wanted to play as well.
Yeah, this is Jim Harbaugh's style of football. When you run the football, big, strong offensive line, keep handing it to these guys, it just quiets the defense. All those pressures go away. And, oh, by the way, Justin Herbert's still your quarterback.
That's right.
Just one quick note. Hope Coach Harbaugh's doing well.
Yeah,
well, sure. Let's check in with Mike Florio for the latest on Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, Jim Harbaugh said after the game he had an atrial flutter on the sideline, had an IV and a magnesium pill in the locker room. He actually had a procedure in 2012 for an irregular heartbeat, and he said he'll be following up with a cardiologist tomorrow, Maria.
All right, we'll be looking at PFT for the latest. Thanks, Florio. We still got a couple of highlights left to get you to on football night, including the Battle of the Beltway. If you see that man coming, what do you do?
Duck.
Get out of the way. Get out of the way. And also a tough day for the Cowboys at home. We'll get you the highlights after this.
Welcome to the Hyundai Sunday Night Kickoff.
It has been all-out action in the 5 boroughs. Really, every team in the city had a good week, except the Jets. They still got
the coach of the Jets. Then
they still got that. You got Dexy right there in the middle of the huddle, getting the Giants set, and we are on the field, presented by Hyundai. So not exactly the start that both these teams would have wanted to the season. What did you learn about the mindset of both these teams being down here?
I'll tell you what, talking to the Cincinnati people, I was surprised. At 1-4, this is a confident group. They feel good about where they are. They feel like they're healthy, and they're looking forward to having a great night.
How about for you?
Repeat the question, I'm sorry.
You're still catching your breath. You were over there interviewing Dexter Lawrence. He's got some tremendous hustle. You know what really caught my attention? We were talking to one of the key offensive players for the Bengals, and what he was saying was that if we can just get a couple of stops, just a couple of stops, and how much sincerity did he say that with? They feel like they can beat anybody.
Absolutely. He told me, he said, hey, we can score every time that we can get the ball. We feel like we can put up as many points as possible, but we're going to need 2 stops, and we're going to need them 3 and outs. And if they get those 2 stops, we're going to win the football game.
And I'll tell you, the other thing they're concerned about tonight is the Giants' pass rush. That is the thing that I think can win the game for New York, putting pressure on Joe Burrow.
We'll check in on Orlando Brown Jr., see if he can get the job done as he sent it back in to Maria Taylor.
All right, thanks, Jack. 30 miles separate the Commanders and the Ravens. The Battle of the Beltway going down. Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry. There's a lot of things that you got to watch out for. Let's start with Zay Flowers, because in the first half, he went off.
Yeah, Zay Flowers is all over the place, running an over route. You can't guard the guy. He's so quick and elusive. It was trouble for Washington starting off the game.
9 catches, 132 yards at the half. Okay, then you just give the ball to Derrick Henry. No big deal.
No big deal. Derrick Henry, they got it running. When they run the ball, everything opens up in Baltimore. And Derrick Henry, he's running great right now.
First player with a rushing touchdown in each of his first 6 games since LaDainian Tomlinson. That was back in 2005. Then, the end of the first half. Okay, Jaden Daniels, we see you.
Oh, Jaden Daniels, one good decision, one good throw after another. And we're just going, man, it's Lamar and Jaden Daniels just answer each other back and forth.
Yeah, but then Mark Andrews enters the group chat.
Yes, he did. And we haven't seen him a lot this year. It's good to see that because we know between Flowers, Henry, and Lamar, and now you add Andrews, whoo, they're going to pose some problems.
Yeah, his first touchdown since October 29th, 03. Now it's time for a little action. Jackson. That's a 33-yard run.
Oh.
You know he can do it with his legs.
Kill you up the middle with Derrick Henry, and then he keeps it around the edge. So tough for the defense to defend that. Then they do stuff like this, fake the speed sweep on the edge, and then run it back up the middle, and they got Washington's defense heads turning right now.
Yeah, and still, Washington was not out of this ball game.
They're never out. I'm really impressed with the Cliff Kingsbury offense, and this quarterback is just, he's as cold as ice, man. He is smooth. He doesn't blink under the pressure, and he just refused to go away. But the Ravens had a different idea of how this should go down.
Yeah, he was able to cut the lead to 7, but then Lamar Jackson goes, gets the first down. You remember you were like, it's going to be Derrick Henry, it's going to be Lamar, it's going to be, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Can't stop
Lamar off the edge, little chippy there at the end. 2 great ones talking right there.
Yeah, and we told you about the superstars. Zay Flowers, that's what he did in the first half. Action Jackson, he's passed for over 300 yards for the 2nd time in his career in back-to-back games. That's thoroughly impressive. And obviously Derrick Henry and what he was able to do with those 2 rushing touchdowns. Now, I don't know if you were here a little bit earlier. Maybe you weren't. All the games were still going. But Jason Garrett said that the Ravens have the best offense in football. Tell me more.
Coach, I got you. Hold on, Coach. Yeah. I got you. See, Chris Sims said he didn't know. I'm going to tell you why. See, what ends up happening is you play against Derrick Henry, you want to add an extra guy there. But then Lamar Jackson, you got to have a guy free for him. So who do we choose? And when they were talking about the passing game, so, Coach, don't worry about Sims or anybody else. You're dead on this one.
Yeah, it's a 3-headed monster. If you remember, Baltimore started 0-2. Offensive line had some issues, but they're rolling now. Offensive line is better and allowing that 3-headed monster to get after. When you're calling plays, if you have a given, something you know that you can call that's going to be successful, everything else feeds from there. So they have a given, hand it to the big guy, and then the quarterback can keep it, and then nobody can cover Zay Flowers. So they got a lot of givens. Every time that ball's snapped, they're hard to defend.
The fact that y'all even said Mark Andrews, which is okay, had a slow start, first 5 games, only averaging 24 yards per game, but he got his first touchdown of the season, and he caught up with Mike Florio after the game.
And he calls the offense pick your poison. And he also said Lamar Jackson playing quarterback better than anyone in the league right now. But the key in an offense like that is patience. That's been important for Andrews. He said, I know what I can do. People around this facility know what I can do. And what he did today, he tied Todd Heap with 41 receiving touchdowns for the most in franchise history, Maria.
All right, thanks, Florio. Let's go to the Lions taking on the Cowboys. Jared Goff, the Lions looking for their 4th win of the season, and it is going to have style points written all over it.
David Montgomery was alone for Dallas to try to handle today, running through people, running over. Like, it was, that's what it was right there. It was a party in the end zone.
He's like, giddy up, let's go into the end zone. Second quarter, Lions up 7. Trick play, let's go.
Hey, the word was a bludgeoning. They ran the ball, they threw the ball, they had trick plays. Sam Laporta down the sidelines. They got after him every which way. DeMarcus Lawrence is out. Micah Parsons is out. We saw it today.
Yeah, we're still in the first half. Okay, David Montgomery would go in for that 1-yard touchdown. Oh, Jerry Jones, it's your 82nd birthday. It might not have been a good gift, but it's certainly a surprise. The worst home loss under Jerry Jones happens on his birthday. Lions still looking to cruise to victory here.
I'll tell you what, they just kept pouring it on and on and on. This is Jamison Williams. They went on a quick count. Williams just ran by the defense. Jared Goff threw it out there. What a day for the Lions.
Whoa, it's more than impressive. For the first time since September 1962, that Detroit scored 40-plus points in consecutive games. It is time for the All-State check-in. Chris Sims, the Lions' success on the ground led to success through the air.
It does. Dan Campbell and Ben Johnson are on line one. They want to talk to McCourty and Jason Garrett about the best offense in football because they got something to say today. They were phenomenal. Jason Garrett said it. They bludgeon you up front with the run game. They dominate you. And then Ben Johnson calls these aggressive play-action passes. And you see Amon-Ra St. Brown with space everywhere. Another play-action pass, deep in cut down the middle to Tim Patrick. Okay, now, hey, they defend the deep play-action pass. Hey, don't worry. Jared Goff's smart. He throws it underneath. Jahmyr Gibbs goes and gets yards. But it's tough to defend. They make you defend every inch of the football field. And then Jared Goff is such an aggressive decision maker, hitting Raymond on the little corner route there. Detroit really on a roll on the offensive side of the ball right now, Maria.
Well, that was the All-State check-in, and as much as we have seen Detroit on the roll, Dallas has struggled at home. They're 0-3 this season, but if you go back to their last 4 losses, they have been outscored by 82 points. Remember, last year they were 8-0, or in 2023 they were 8-0. Since then they went 16-1. And what's happening now when they're at home? What's changed for Dallas this year?
Let's go back to what you said. 16-1 over the last 2 years. They were dominant the other way. And the common factor in all those games when they were having success was they started fast in the game. They played from ahead. Then they turned those rushers loose. DeMarcus Lawrence, Micah Parsons. The DBs are diving on balls and intercepting them back the other way. They have not played that way. They've gotten behind in every game, and they're playing a style of football they do not want to play.
Jason said that in the screening room, and then as they're about to kick off, Dallas chooses to receive the ball to try to go and score. They only get 3 points, and then from that point on, Detroit dominated. And right now, Dallas's defense, they just look soft out there. It's not everything being schemed up. Yeah. It's David Montgomery running over people. They're grabbing at his jersey. They're just not a tough football team right now.
The injuries are real, but they're not physical on either side of the ball. On offense, they can't run it. They're not controlling the line of scrimmage. Everything is on Dak every time the ball is snapped, and they can't stop the run on the other side.
Yeah, Jerry Jones said after this game that it's very concerning and very humbling. But maybe one of the biggest stories that came out of this game was the Lions' superstar pass rusher. We saw Aiden Hutchinson suffer what looked to be a serious leg injury in the third quarter. He had his left leg placed in an air cast. We saw him get carted off. Still no official word on the severity, but Hutchinson is staying in Dallas to be evaluated. And I don't think that words actually can describe what he means to this team as the heart and soul, but also a playmaker for the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, no doubt, for their team, but also for football. If you love football, watch this guy play. He's what every coach wants. He's what every teammate wants to be on their team. He's certainly been the symbol for what they're building up there in Detroit. He leads the league in sacks, but that other thing, the impact that he has on the team, how he plays, how much he loves it, they're going to feel this.
Yeah, and it's always really tough as a team when you go and get a big win like that on the road and you lose a player like that in a game. So those guys are going to have to rally, figure it out, and I'm sure they'll be checking in on them.
Yeah, a guy from Plymouth, Michigan, so kind of a homegrown talent that the entire fan base definitely rallied around. And Aiden Hutchinson did say that he'll be, quote, down for a while, or Dan Campbell did, his head coach. Let's check in with Matthew Berry. Time for tonight's Berry's Bet, brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Matthew?
Maria, the Bengals desperately need to win tonight, and you know who else does? Me. That's right. So who is Joe Burrow and myself turning to tonight? T. Higgins. Yes, T. Higgins. Get this. Since T. Higgins returned from injury, it is Higgins, not Jamar Chase, who leads the Bengals in targets. So give me the over on T. Higgins receiving yards. He's gone over this number in each of the last 2 games. And in a must-win game for Cincy, I say he makes it 3 straight tonight. That's my Berry's bet for tonight.
DraftKings Sportsbook is the #1 place to bet touchdowns, and new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the app and use promo code SNF when you sign up.
All right, Joe Burrow, remember he walked in Paris Fashion Week in the Vogue Fashion Show. He's flexing on his exes right now. I like the look.
Is that a Birkin bag?
It actually is. That's Kelly.
Whoa.
Impressive.
Wow.
Meanwhile, Sexy Dexy's like, don't forget about me. I'll be after him all night long. And he caught up with Rodney Harrison before the game.
New defensive coordinator Shane Bowen. What has he brought to this defense?
Attitude. I think we all had it, but he fires us up a little more each and every day. And just a want to. He brings a want to. We know we got to get that ball, go attack the ball, and that's what we're going to do.
Typically, we think of nose tackles as being great run stoppers. You're second in the league in sacks. How does that happen?
Want to, will. I think my attitude helps me defeat guys, and I'm gonna just keep it going.
So you told me that your dance is every time you get a sack. So how many times am I gonna see that dance tonight?
This year I'm trying to help clear hunger. So with chunky soup. So however many sacks that take.
Hey, all the best to you, brother. Thanks, man.
Sexy Dex is like, get in my belly. He's coming for you. All right, it is time for our Sunday Fun Day, and it started bright and early in London. Let's take a look at some of the things that we enjoyed, starting with Mr. Anderson. 3 sacks for him today.
Mr. Anderson said, hey, Drake Maye, meet me. 3 times got back there to Drake Maye. They just couldn't block him. Too many one-on-ones for Will Anderson. He said, if you block me one-on-one, I'm going to sack your quarterback a lot today.
And then we had some receivers returning. Welcome back, Birds. Happy to have you.
Injuries matter in this league. 2 of the best players that Philly has, they've been out. They came back today. All of a sudden, the offense looked a heck of a lot different. A.J. Brown, the best contested catch guy around. Devontae Smith, awfully good with the ball in his hands. Eagles got a big win.
Yeah, and welcome back to the pack, Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson. Happy to see you.
Yeah, it was. It was happy to see them, and Jordan Love was happy to see them because just like JG said, when these guys are healthy, they're a different football team. Watson deep, Doubs in the intermediate, and then Jordan Love throwing dimes everywhere. Packers offense was awesome today.
And then there was Money Montgomery. All I did was sign my $18.25 million deal, and I'm going to give you 2 touchdowns.
And Coach said, hey, he'll never not be a Lion. We're going to keep him here. So David Montgomery said, you know what? I'll take that new money, and I'll show you what new money looks like. 2 touchdowns running all over the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, yeah.
Show me the money. And then there was the Bears. Breakfast with the Bears. And Sir Caleb.
I love me some Sir Caleb. There was some awesome plays drawn up, and, man, he was throwing some great throws.
I mean, he was all over the place. He scrambled a little bit through the ball. So, hey, I see you, K. Callen.
Incredibly instinctive player. You saw that in how he located the ball today. He was fantastic.
So Sir Caleb with his 4 touchdowns. We also have an update, though, guys, on Aiden Hutchinson. He's going to go in for immediate surgery. It is a broken tibia that they're going to go in and fix. All right, let's take a look.
Aiden.
Yeah, we'll all be thinking about you. It's time for tonight's home team picks, brought to you by Lowe's. Let's take a look and see who America's going with. 75% of you believe that it is going to be the Bengals getting the victory. What does our home team believe is the question.
Well,
Go ahead.
I thought we had little Giants here.
The little Giants are traitors.
You guys.
Jason Garrett cares more about that little red vest.
Yeah, he does.
I'm going to keep that thing all year long.
Than anything else.
He's scared of the Giants. He's scared. He's a Patriot. You know, I think that's some issues there.
Yeah, Cincinnati's back's firmly pressed against the wall. They need this one.
Okay, let's check in with Rodney and Tony and see what they think this game is going to come down to, guys.
What's up, Maria? And it's very loud out here. And, Coach, what I'm looking at tonight is the Giants defensively. They're going to have to do a great job tackling. These are big wide receivers. Jamar Chase is a lot bigger and stronger than what you think, and T. Higgins is 6'4".
Yeah, the Giants know what problems Cincinnati's offense presents. I talked to Daniel Jones before the game, asked him what the key was. He said red zone. We've got to execute down there. We're going to need touchdowns tonight and not field goals. Maria?
All right, give me the reason why you think the Giants are about to win this one.
I think the Giants' defensive line has to step up and be dominant. I talked to Vince Wilfork, who told me Dexter Lawrence is similar to him, maybe a better pass rusher, and doesn't have the 2-gap as much as Vince Wilfork did.
Have you ever seen a happier guy who's as physical as Sexy Dexter? He smiled and he knocks the heck out of the guy across from him.
Nice.
Thanks.
You should have picked the Giants there, Coach.
No, the Giants, I think this will be a close football game. I just think between the desperation of the Bengals and the offensive firepower and Burrow playing really MVP caliber football, yeah, I like the Bengals.
All right, well, those were tonight's home team picks brought to you by Lowe's. We are just minutes away from kickoff. We are wrapping up our Sunday night of Week 6 games. Bengals trying to maybe save their seasons. Giants looking for their 2nd straight win. Mike, Chris, Melissa have the call, and we'll see you at halftime.
This has been the Hyundai Sunday Night Kickoff. Spanish language audio provided by Telemundo Deportes. Or watch tonight's game in Spanish on Universo.